Hello, in today's video I'd like to talk about lug nuts. If you own a newer Nissan or Infiniti vehicle, you might have run into a situation whereby, while trying to service your wheels using the factory supplied lug wrench, it might have felt very, very tight over the lug nuts. And sometimes the issue is so bad that it actually doesn't even go, not even halfway. And if you try to force it, you end up causing something to strip. So in today's video, I'd like to attempt to explain what exactly happens. I've made other videos or I've talked about this issue in other videos, but I wanted to make something a little more direct and hopefully concise too. So if you've dealt with Nissans for a while, you'll remember that originally most of their lug nuts looked like this. These are the acorn seat lug nuts, or the 60-degree seat, basically like this. But sometime in 2009, maybe 2008 perhaps, depending on the make or model, they switched to these lug nuts, the mag style or the washer style lug nuts. Yeah, there's a difference in the way they work, and hopefully you're not mixing them up, because you could damage your wheels if you go one way with it. The other way is not so bad. But anyway, that's besides the point. So previously, and Nissan has kept this for a long time, you used the same lug wrench that you used on these others, on the newer lug nuts, will work on the older ones as well. These are 21 millimeter sockets, or rather they take 21 millimeter sockets, and I have an aftermarket socket here. This sleeve is to protect the wheels, 21 millimeters. And as you can see, this one works here, works for the conventional lug nut, and it is supposed to work on these as well. It's a little tight, as you saw earlier, and on this one it might not. Yeah, it's really tight. So the difference is that back in the day, you can see a little bit of a difference, right? A difference in the way they look, but this is a solid one piece, a piece of steel basically, and it worked. But at some point, whoever it is that makes the world's lug nuts convinced manufacturers, and I say manufacturers plural because it's not only Nissan or Infiniti that did this, Jaguar, Toyota, Ford, so many different people went to this style of lug nut that is made like this. And this is, I usually cut them up and use them for other things. So I just want to show you what the construction is. It's got a decorative cap, and underneath what you actually have is this. This is your lug nut, this thing right here. But then they have this decorative cap. It's supposed to, I don't know how they convince the manufacturers, but it's supposed to, I don't know if it's cheaper, look good. I'm not really sure what the deal is. But over time, with wear and I suppose impact, but things happen, and this 21 millimeter fit ends up being not a 21 millimeter fit anymore, and that's what you saw over there. So if you are to use it, maybe you happen to have a 21.5 millimeter socket in your in your tools, or maybe you have something from the standard size SAE sizes that will work. But for me, usually I end up needing to use a 22 millimeter socket. And so, as you can see, this one here was struggling with the 21, but it's just fine with the 22. So you make it work, but sometimes if these lug nuts are stuck on the wheels so badly, the more you do this, the more damage you cause. The corners end up being effectively rounded. So there is a solution. Nissan has a solution, by the way, and these original ones, these right here, if you were to go and buy replacement lug nuts by VIN, you provide a VIN to the dealer, this is a part number they're going to give you. I believe up to today they will just replace in kind, because they still have these in stock, I think, 40224-JK00A, and this is this right here. But Nissan offered a revised part number as well, and that part number is 40224-4HH0A, right? A little different at the end, and these lug nuts are one piece. Well, when I say one piece, I'm not talking about the washer. I'm talking about the body to shank, more or less. So, and you can almost see it, right? Just looking at it. This one here is holding the shine or the sheen like the one piece old school or traditional lug nut did, because it's one piece. It's a one piece metal. So this one here is not going to suffer the issues that these chrome cap, why do they call it chrome? It doesn't, I don't know. Anyway, these cap lug nuts would usually suffer, which is just getting rounded, because the difference between, so this inner core, the essence of your lug nut is actually like 20 millimeters. Yeah, 20. It's a 20. And then this is a 21. So this is a really, really thin piece of metal. And over time, as I said, impact, fatigue, whatever it is, things just start getting loose. I've heard some attribution to winter weather, snow, and things like that, but I don't know how big of an issue that is. I think it's just more structural or mechanical fatigue is what usually ends up doing them in. But yeah, as I said, I usually cut them, and I use these as spare lug nuts for project cars and things like that. I just don't know a very effective way to go at it to remove this thing without causing some sort of damage on the inner nut. But I hope this video helps in some way.